Okay, so I am not going out on the road until Monday, so I figured I'd bring this video to you guys. Now, I want to disclaimer this video is not going to be in any specific order. I haven't sat here and went over every line that I'm going to say and all the details and whatnot. So people have asked me, you know, about leasing on, about owning their own company. It's basically, I just want to give you guys a rundown of like percentages that happen with leasing on, what's the pros of leasing on, what's the cons of leasing on, same with the pros and cons of owning your own business, or even if you own your own business and you're leasing on, if you own your own authority. So I'm gonna start it off with leasing on. Our percentages just changed, but what our percentages were at the company that I'm leased on with was 20%. So 20% of any revenue would go right to the company, and that was about it. Now, 20% of what? That'd be 20% of all loads. So if I do $5,000 in revenue in a week, take your 20% of that, and there you go. If it was like 4,000, I believe that would be like $800 a week goes to, so $800 out of $4,000. So basically that, 20%. Now, everything got changed over. There's dispatching, there is contracts that we get, there is other little apps like Super Dispatch, the load boards, insurance. So all that stuff is factored in. So you may think, oh, that's a lot of money to just throw away. Now, it depends if you're doing that with every single load, or you get, you know, obviously if you own your own authority, you're gonna have to pay for the load boards. That's, you know, you're gonna have to pay for your ELD. You're gonna have to pay, and that's a monthly subscription as well. You're gonna have to pay for your certain apps that you're gonna be using on your phone to help you with your business. And just, you're gonna be paying a dispatcher more than likely, because most people, let's face it, you don't wanna be sitting there on your phone all the time and on your laptop. You're gonna miss out on loads if you don't have a dispatcher. That's just it. Yes, you can be a dispatcher for yourself. You can make the best money in the world. You can think that you're like super dispatcher. But at the end of the day, if you're driving, it's a distraction. It's just basically how it is. You're gonna have a dispatcher more than likely. So all that stuff comes out of that 20%. Now, everything changed over. Our dispatching fee, I think, would put us up to 18% is what we're gonna give back to the company now. And if we don't use the dispatcher, it's 15%. And then on top of that, insurance. So we're gonna be paying weekly insurance as opposed to 20%. Now it could be 15%. And a lot of companies, some of them will upcharge, some of them will be about 30%. Remember Alex did a video on how much he charges. I forget what the percentage he says was, but commercial insurance, you know, everything that I basically just listed is going to come out. Now, why if you have to pay a certain percentage monthly, would you want to lease onto a company as opposed to owning your own authority, okay? There's plenty of pros to leasing under a company, okay? Say you're new to this industry, you have a truck, you have a trailer, and you just want to go out there, but you don't know anything about the business, okay? There's two ways you can go about it. You can become a company driver and learn that way. You're gonna make far less money. You're gonna be out on the road. It depends on the company itself, but you're gonna make a lot less money than if you were to have your own equipment and just run your own truck. Now, a pro to that is you're gonna have less overhead. Now, if you decide to be an owner-operator and lease under a company, again, new to the industry, don't know much about it, you're gonna obviously wanna have a savings, so that is a con. You're gonna have all the overhead, but you're gonna be able to learn the business under somebody else's authority while still making the money that you would make as an owner-operator, minus your percentages. Some of the pros of leasing on with a company is you get to use their contracts, okay? As a new authority, you're gonna be stuck going with whatever's on the load board, and then within the first 90 days, you're gonna have to go, oh, we can't use you. Certain brokers won't use you because of your age or your MC number. Now, that's not all of them, but it can be a fight to get loads in the beginning. So you'll get to use their contracts. You'll get, you know, access to better loads as opposed to what you would get if you just had your own authority, okay? If you go out and start your own authority, there's a few ways you can do that, but you're not gonna have the contracts. You're gonna be using the load board. You're gonna be getting cheap rates at first. It is hard for the first 90 days. Now, after that, you know, it's gonna start looking up, but you're also gonna have to pay that insurance premium down. You're gonna wanna get an insurance quote before you even start it to make sure it's worth it. That's another pro to leasing on with somebody. If your insurance is absolute trash when you're trying to get your own authority, if you're getting quoted some ridiculous $30,000, $40,000 a year, it may be worth it to go run under somebody else's authority where your insurance price is gonna be a little bit lower per month. It's another pro to it. Now, another benefit of leasing on with a company, you know, say you're in a fleet and something happens to your equipment and you have a driver that works with you nearby or something like that, they can come out, help you out, swap loads around, do what you need to do until your truck's fixed. There's things like that. When you go start your own authority, you may not have that option at first. You may just be relying on yourself. Now, when you own your own authority, it is a huge pain in the beginning, and you got to learn how to keep track of all your paperwork, all your expense. You got to keep track of everything and make sure you're in line. You're going to get audited once, possibly twice a year. Not every year, but like it can be random, and you're going to have to know how to keep yourself in line. So unless you have a partner that's willing to help you out, it can be a pain. Now, that's not the same for everybody. Some people swear by, oh, it's the best way to go. Good for them. For the majority of people, it is not a great way to start getting your own authority. That's how I did it. I started doing this with my own authority a while back. It was definitely a nightmare. Definitely a nightmare. Now, the other thing, you have an older truck. A lot of times companies won't want to lease you on. Some will. It just depends on who you know and how good your MVR is and stuff like that. If you start your own authority, obviously you can have an older truck. It really doesn't matter, but you're gonna want to have a partner that is going to be able to help you, that you can actually trust. I know I said that I wasn't going to start my own authority when I began this business, started again this year, but I may end up doing that at some point down the road. I just, like I said, you guys know exactly what I have dealing with right now. So maybe down the road, I have a good partner that I trust, absolutely. And I might end up starting my own authority at some point again and going from there. But if you are going to do that, what I could recommend, there's two different ways you can do this, okay? So there's two ways that you can go about starting your own authority. One, you can be leased under a company, or you can be working a full-time job. It really doesn't matter, but most people don't do this. You could be leased under an authority, go get your own authority, and you can pay for the insurance and let it age while you're leased under a company. Now, it's very expensive to do so because now you got to pay the insurance from this one and pay the insurance from your own while it ages. Now, you still get the advantage of using their MC number and all that while the other one ages. Just because you don't take loads under your authority, it's still aging, it's still active, and that's what they want to see. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but you can do it that way as well. Remember Alex saying that's how he started his, and yeah, it can get pretty expensive. You're paying 2 insurance policies, but it can also be worth it. The other way you can do it is just go get your own authority, pay for your insurance, and now you're just gonna run. So there's some of the pros and cons to it, and there's basically all your percentages and whatnot, so you basically understand that. I gave you, that's pretty much the numbers I have from. And another thing, so more things to think about. Each company is going to be the same. You have companies that specialize in cars, you have companies that'll specialize in, say, semis, dry vans, flatbeds, you name it, enclosed, stuff like that. And there is a bunch of different routes that people go, and each company may only be good at 1, 2, or 3 of those areas. So if you're working for one company that says, oh, we're good in this area, but then you want to change directions. Say you want to go from, say you're a car hauler and you want to move to freight, okay, and you're leased under a company. Well, this company really doesn't deal with freight, so now's your best chance. Now you decide you want to go lease under somewhere else. This is where a lot of the guys will say, oh, you need to stop jumping around, or you need to like pick a company and settle down. This is why Hotshot's this and that. You know, you'll get people that say stupid things like that. Honestly, go where the money's at and go what's best for your situation. Don't worry about sticking around if it's going to affect your income or affect your family. So each company's going to be different. So if you want to focus on something specific, but you want to learn it, find a company that works for that specifically, okay? That's basically it. There you go. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. There's your percentages. There is your pros and cons and other couple things. So I want you guys down in the comments, leave some pros and cons for the new guys out here in this industry. I'm far from new, but I'm also learning a lot, and unfortunately I've been dealt with some financial burdens that just decided, hey, you're not allowed to go buy nice equipment right now because you have to pay this amount of money, which is absolutely stupid. By the end of the year, I will have spent $30,000 on lawyer stuff I explained in the last video. Kind of ridiculous, but that's kind of what's keeping me from, I'm trying to hold on to my cash. So, you guys heard in the last video, I'm looking for a trailer right now. I'm looking for a 53 or 50, a wedge. I want a wedge trailer, a non-CDL wedge, 21K triaxle, or obviously a tandem dually is not going to work for me right now. I want something that I can move up in the future, so when I do go get my CDL, I can register the truck at 30,000. But if you guys have anything that's lease to own, I would like to know about it. I'm paying about $1,000 right now a month for that guy right there, and I would like to own something. I don't care. I don't care. I want to own something. I would much rather lease to own something right now rather than just lease. So let me know what you guys got down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, leave some stuff down for the new guys so that they can also see the pros and cons. I appreciate you guys. See you in the next video. Also, went over your comments with Liam. Liam appreciates your comments for all the congratulations for his stuff yesterday. So appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. See you in the next one.